Okay, so one of the trickiest things out there is that once you learn about triangles and triangle congruencies, there's this part of the year where you start drawing weird lines and segments inside of the triangles, and the vocab is very difficult to remember. So what I'm going to share with you came from, I'm not sure exactly where it came from. I asked my friend Lori Murfin, and she thinks it came from a teacher named Sandra Lambus, who's an awesome geometry teacher and so much fun. And whoever came up with this, they're brilliant, because I now know these without having to look up in a book. So yay, thank you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write a little sentence, and then I'm going to explain how the sentence is a memory trick with respect to the picture. Okay, so the first thing is actually writing down the little memory trick itself. So I'm going to start with I like peanut butter. I like peanut butter Captain Crunch, which is actually very true. I do like peanut butter Captain Crunch. But this is the first sentence, or the first memory trick, because if you take the first letter of peanut butter Captain Crunch, it's going to help you remember some vocabulary that goes together, okay? The P and the B stand for a perpendicular bisector. Okay, and the CC is the word circumcenter. Circumcenter. Now, how do those relate, or why are they important? Well, I will show you on a picture sort of how this works, okay? So the idea is that if you are inside of a triangle, you are going to go to each of the three sides, and you're going to sketch their perpendicular bisectors. Now, you might remember the word bisect means to cut in half. So if I go to this side, okay, I'm going to look for the middle of the segment, which looks like it would be about right here, because if I start here, that's going to cut it into two equal parts, and therefore it's the bisector, okay? Now the word perpendicular, you probably remember, it means that it needs to hit at a 90-degree angle. So I'm going to go to the middle and try to draw a 90-degree angle, and then I'm just going to let this blue line that I'm drawing, I'm just going to let it end wherever it needs to end, okay? And wherever it stops over here, you don't really need to worry about, because what we're going to end up looking for is, after we do this to all three sides, we're looking for where they meet, okay? So now let me go to the bottom. Let me look for the middle of the bottom, which looks to be about right here. And same thing, I'm going to draw something that looks perpendicular to the bottom. And I'm just going to keep it going up. Okay, and then the only side I haven't done is this third side over here. So if I go to the middle of this, a little trickier, maybe right about there. And same thing, I'm going to draw what looks to be 90 degrees right there, and just kind of let it go across. Okay, so your picture looks weird, okay, and wherever you hit the other side, it's not that significant, honestly, but the middle of these, where they all cross, that is called the circumcenter. Okay, so with that memory trick, I like peanut butter Captain Crunch. If you sketch perpendicular bisectors, then you will hit the circumcenter, okay, or the middle of them. So let's do the next sentence, the next foodie sentence that's going to help you remember how to do this. Okay, I also like mac and cheese. That's easy to remember. Most people like mac and cheese, right? So here it's the M and the C that are going to be important. Now the M stands for medians, and the C stands for the word centroid. So this vocab is going to have the same relationship as the one over here. I'm going to start by drawing the median of each side of the triangle, okay? Now a median is going to be wherever you hit the middle of the segment again, okay? But what's different is, instead of making it be 90 degrees like we did over here, now I just have to kind of start here and just shoot over to the opposite vertex. So about right there, okay? So find the middle first. So here I am on this segment, find the middle. From the middle, draw to the opposite angle. And then same thing here. Find the middle of the third side, maybe about right there. And then draw over to where it hits the third side, okay? And ideally, if you do this right, these three are going to cross together, all three of them, in somewhere in this triangle, and that is what's called the centroid, okay? All right, so our next food sentence below is, okay, when I'm healthy, I eat apples and oranges. Okay, so with this one, the food is apples and oranges, so we have A and O. Now the A stands for altitudes, and the O stands for something called the orthocenter. Okay, so same relationship as above, we just have to know how to sketch it. So how do we do this? Okay, this is a little bit different. On the two above, we would start somewhere on the side, right? But now we actually need to start at the angles. So I'm going to start at one of the vertices. Let me start at this vertex right here. And what we're going to do is we need to draw a line that drops straight down and hits this at a 90-degree angle. So, boom, that looks like a 90-degree angle. So it's different from the one above because it has nothing to do with the midpoint or a bisector. It's just start at an angle, drop down, and make it 90. So if I'm at this angle, I need to go up and hit at a 90-degree angle. So probably that looks pretty good. And then I'll do the same thing over here. I'll go to this third vertex and I will drop it to where it hits at a 90. Like that. Okay, and once again, if you do this right, they're all three going to cross each other in the middle somewhere. And that place in the middle is called an orthocenter. So I had to draw three altitudes, right, from the vertex straight across. And then once I did that, I formed the orthocenter. Okay, and then the last one, the last food one, is sometimes I just go to Applebee's instead. And with Applebee's instead, you want to remember the A and the B, and then the IN. Okay, or just the I. Either way is fine. The AB stands for angle bisector, and the IN stands for something called the in-center. So once again, we draw a bunch of angle bisectors. Where they cross is called the in-center. So how do we draw angle bisectors? Well, once again, you need to start at the angle, not at the side. So this time we start at the angle, and if we're going to do an angle bisector, then we need to cut our angle in half. So we just kind of look at this angle and think, okay, if I'm going to cut it in half, it would look something like that, right? Like that's going to be congruent to that. So wherever, and we just keep going, and then wherever that hits the other side, we don't really care. This is the part we care about, is our angle. So I'll go to another angle and I'll try to do the same thing. Sometimes you have to turn your paper, like I'm turning my computer around right now as I write on it, my tablet. So I want to cut this in half, so maybe about right there, and then I'll go all the way across. And then same thing here, we want to cut this one in half, this angle in half, and then hope to goodness that these things met in the middle. Okay, so my picture's a little off, and basically that just means that one of these three that I drew is just not that great, because look at that gap. Okay, ideally they would all three intersect. So let me take a look. Maybe it's this one. That may have been the one that's a little off. So you just kind of got to go back over it and see, you know, where did you mess up, or... All right, cool. And then that right there where all three of them meet, that is called the in center. So if you can remember those 4 little food sentences, then hopefully it'll help you with which vocab words go with which vocab words. And then your teachers in class are going to show you why these are significant. I just wanted to help you with the memory tricks. But there's your vocab and how it relates. There's how to draw all 4 of them. And then different things are going to be congruent once you're inside the shape, and there's going to be different kinds of relationships, and those are the things you're going to be doing in class after you learn the vocab. So hopefully that helped. Thanks so much.